and it's happening in Doncaster, and it's happening in places throughout this country, and we are turning parts of our community into a ghetto. Doncaster is full. Now, I often get challenged, I often get challenged as a Christian when I say Doncaster is full. But I don't think it's very Christian putting people in boats that are going to, obviously, sadly, sometimes fall. Unfortunately, outside, we have left-wing lawyers making six-figure salaries, calling me awful, and people like myself. We have TV pundits on seven-figure salaries, paid by my constituents through TV licences, again calling me awful. Well, I asked these people on these huge salaries, on these seven-figure salaries, I asked them to sell everything that they've got. I asked them to give it all away. Then I asked them to come and get a job in Doncaster, probably on £25,000, £30,000 a year. I asked them to find themselves a partner and then probably go and buy that dream house. Now they buy that dream house, a three-bedroom semi and mid-terraced. They make the garden nice, the kids play in the garden, they've got a couple next door who've got kids themselves, and everything's rosy. Then all of a sudden the neighbour decides to move on, he gets a job or he moves somewhere else. And that house turned into an HMO. And then we have 9 people who don't speak English anymore, bed hopping, which is what's happening. But this is happening, and it's happening in Doncaster, and it's happening in places throughout this country, and we are turning parts of our community into a ghetto. And this is what is happening. Now all of a sudden you're living next door to an HMO, and you've got upcomings and goings at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, people outside smoking. The grass doesn't get cut anymore, the windows don't get cleaned anymore, and unfortunately you feel scared to let your child play out in the garden anymore. Now there's no gated communities here to make people feel safe, because we're not on seven-figure salaries anymore. You're earning £30,000 now, remember, that's what you're earning. So the only protection that you've got is a lock on a door and a council that might put a public space protection order in, but not enforce it anymore. Now this is what's happening. You can't sell your house anymore, and if you do, you have to sell it at a discount. Your little child falls over in the street and you have to go to A&E, and you get a 12-hour waiting list. And the reason why the waiting list is so long is because people don't speak English in these places anymore. And we have to tackle this illegal immigration and this immigration because it is not fair. Because that couple that I'm talking about are paying their taxes week in, week out. They expect to live on nice streets. They expect to be able to have the services there for them that they pay for week in, week out. And they don't expect to be called racist or xenophobic for saying, we liked it as it was. And if we're going to have immigration, which I don't completely believe is a bad thing to do, it just needs to be controlled immigration, and that's what I was set down here to do.